Which is this?
A vein.
Which one?
Femoral.
Sciatic. I don't know. I'm guessing, okay.
You had it on your exam, on the lecture exam.
Great saphenous.
Great saphenous
Oh, there we
vein.
go.
That's right. Very good. Okay. What is this artery? Femoral artery. What is this artery here?
Whoa, what you pointing at?
Brachial.
It starts as a left subclavian and then becomes brachial. All right. This is superior vena cava. This is inferior vena cava. Two renal veins, two renal arteries. These two here,
Common iliac.
common iliacs. And then there's a first branching. Those are external iliacs, these are internal iliacs. See these two? Once those internal iliacs branch off, what is left are external iliacs. There's another branching over here, after which it becomes the femoral artery. Okay, those are pretty nice. Yeah, there's like, radial and ulnar. I don't think this is persistent medial, but it could be. Okay, that's it.
Good.
This is what? This is a model of what?
Trachea. Your
Larynx. Okay,
Larynx.
so this is hyoid bone. This one is
epiglottis.
epiglottis. What are these things? These white things.
The vocal cord.
The vocal cords. That's right. The true vocal folds or cords. This is a cheapo, but okay. It should work in some way. Something like this. Okay, you can play with this. All right, what's the name of this cartilage? Thyroid cartilage. And then this one underneath is cricoid cartilage. And then underneath is trachea. Lovely. What's this?
Kidney.
Kidney. What is this?
The renal capsule.
That's right. What about this whole area?
Calcit.
The whole area. Everything. There's a nerve coming in and an artery coming in.
CALYX.
No. This is the ureter coming out, the artery renal artery coming in, the renal vein coming out. There's also a nerve going in. The whole area. Everything else is capsule. The whole area.
Renal fat pad.
Nope.
No, I don't
It
know.
starts with H. Hilum.
Nope.
Hilum?
I didn't see that word in the notes.
Hilun. Okay. This area here is the cortex. This area here is the medulla. Medulla is made of pyramids. You see, this one looks really like a pyramid, right? And each one of these is, a segment of some kind. Each one of these pyramids is going to drain urine into a papilla. And each one of the papilla is then going to kind of, fill a part that is called a calyx. And all the calyxes together are the renal pelvis. If I stick a sticker here, I'm looking for renal pelvis. I'm not going to ask about calyces and whatnot. So, you're going to see the word list. Do I have pyramids or do I have medulla? And you're going to figure out what I'm looking for. There's the little kidney there. All right. This is urinary bladder. And you are going to find some stuff here, like the two ureters coming in. And it can be taken out. All right, what else do we have here? We have the inferior vena cava. We have the abdominal aorta splitting into the two common iliacs. And you have the internal and external iliacs here. You have two renal veins, two renal arteries. You have the kidneys, and you have the ureters. Okay. What do we have here? The same thing with a little kidney. All right, so this is one segment. This part here is the cortex. This part here is the medulla. These yellow circles are the glomeruli. So Bowman's capsule with the glomerulus inside of it. And then you have the little loops of Henle here. This one is a little shorter, this one is a little longer. And you can see the distal convoluted tubules all kind of joining into one of these collecting ducts. This is the Bowman's capsule. Inside of it is glomerulus. There's blood coming in via eternal. What?
Oh, I was waiting. I was waiting.
So there's blood going in and out, and both of these are arterioles, afferent and efferent arterioles, which makes this a portal system. Wherever there's a, you have an artery or arteriole, and then you have capillary bed, and then you have a single vessel, and then you have another capillary bed, and then only you have the venules and veins after that. That is a portal system because there's a single vessel connecting two capillary beds. Here you have a capillary bed inside, which is glomerulus, and then it goes out via a single vessel and then breaks down into a whole set of capillaries that are going to follow all of these tubules around and exchanging materials with them. This is the beginning of the proximal convoluted tubule, right? So this is where the primary urine is going to be made and starts going in here. This, surprisingly enough, is the distal convoluted tubule, which makes a little diversion and comes by here because this efferent artery and the distal are right next to each other, and there's some cells in between them which we call juxtaglomerular apparatus. Juxtaglomerular apparatus is very interesting because it's the endocrine part of the kidney. There is inside of this arteriole a single cilia which is going to measure the blood flow, and if it's too low, it is going to trigger secretion of a hormone called renin out of the juxtaglomerular apparatus. The renin is going to go into the bloodstream and it's going to find there a molecule called angiotensinogen. And it's going to cleave off an amino acid off of it, which is going to turn that angiotensinogen into angiotensin 1. Still not doing anything as far as activity, but it's going to travel around and it's going to hit the lungs. In the lungs, lungs produce an enzyme that is called ACE. You heard of ACE inhibitors? You heard about COVID using ACE receptors to get into the cells, right? And so, and ACE is going to activate angiotensin 1 into angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 2 is then a very potent vasoconstrictor of arterioles, which means it's going to constrict them. What happens when you constrict arterioles? You boost the blood pressure quite a lot. So this is how kidney contributes to control of blood pressure.
So this is this?
This yellow is one of these. Yes.
And you kind of used it interchangeably, but the yellow dots would be glomerulus, or would they be Bowman's capsule?
The Bowman's capsule and the glomerulus is inside.
So I could answer either or.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so these are fenestrated capillaries. There are cells there called pedicels, and those pedicels have podocytes. Podocytes have pedicels. Sorry, podocytes are the cells that have little finger-like projections that are called pedicels. How do you remember that? You need to go to the podiatrist to take care of your feet, and your feet also have toes, and you go to get a pedicure when you want to deal with those toenails, right? And so the feet are going to have toes, so podi to podi to pedi, right? Podi are cells, pedi are those finger-like projections. Those finger-like projections can get on top of the fenestra and completely close it. Like nothing's going through here now, or they can open it up like this and control, well, you can get some proteins, but a little bit smaller than the original right now, or a little bit more positive than what we had if it completely let it go. Right, so they add a little bit of control of the size and polarity of molecules that can go through the fenestra. There are also mesangial cells that can do the similar stuff. We are not going to go into that, definitely not for the lab. Here, this is reproductive system, but there's also a little bit of digestive. There's a rectum here, and there's a little bit of urinary. There's a urinary bladder here. There's a urethra. Urethra goes through the first through the prostate and then through the penis out. So that's a possibility to label urethra or label urinary bladder there. Heart. Okay. This is the left side, this is the right side. Okay. So left ventricle, right ventricle. Left atrium, right atrium. These things that the flaps that I removed, those are auricles. They have a little bit of a hole inside. There's usually a little bit of extra blood in there. All right, I'm not going to ask about the coronary circulation. Which artery is this? Pulmonary artery. There you go. So this is the pulmonary semilunar valve that is coming out of the right ventricle. Right ventricle is pumping into the lungs. These two veins and these two veins are pulmonary veins. They're bringing now oxygenated blood from the lungs into the heart, and they're going to fuse and they're going to bring the blood into the left atria. Left atrium is then going to seep blood into the left ventricle, and when left ventricle contracts, this is here the mitral or bicuspid valve, this is tricuspid. When it contracts, it's going to push the blood out of the aorta. This is the aortic arch. What is the name of this artery?
Brachiocephalic trunk.
Okay, what is this one? Right subclavian. This is one. Right common carotid. This is the left common carotid, and this one?
Left subclavian.
Left subclavian. There you go. And this is the most common combination, but there are lots of people who have different configurations, and they're perfectly normal because the blood pressure and blood volume are the same. You don't even know that you had a different one. Okay, so this here, superior vena cava, that's right, and this one is inferior vena cava. They're both coming into the right atrium. All right, so there's the heart. I'm not going to be crazy and ask for this. You have it in your lab manual. It's a ligamentum of some sort. All right, we have some lungs here. This is very simple. This is the same thing as here. I may ask it on here. So if you open it up, you can see
Epiglottis.
Epiglottis right here. There you go. And this is the thyroid and the cricoid. Okay, very good. I'm going to find this is the older model. I'm going to find a newer model if I can for the next week. Not much here. There's trachea. There's the primary bronchi. There's 3 and 2 lobes of the lung. That's about it. This is, what muscle is this? Diaphragm. Okay, anything else? Head. All right. Again, for the digestive, there's lips and teeth and tongue and throat and esophagus. For the respiratory, we have, nares. Those are the openings of the nose. All of this is nasal cavity. These 3 ridges are called what?
Is that right?
Nasal conchae.
Yeah, that one.
That
I
one.
just didn't understand.
Okay, and the little furrows between the conchae are called what? Nasal meatosis. Okay, and those are on top of which bone? Which parts of which bone?
The hard palate.
Ethmoid.
Okay, yeah. It's an ethmoid bone, but what are the parts? What are the parts of the ethmoid bone? The turbinate processes. The turbinate processes of the ethmoid bone are right here, and then you have all this mucosa on top of it, and that's how you get these ridges. And what is the role of these ridges? To turn the laminar flow into turbulent. So the air particles start hitting the walls and start getting stuck in the mucus. It's also circulating a little bit longer around, and there are a lot of capillaries on the surface, so they're going to get warmed up and they're going to get humidified. So this is where you clean, warm up, and humidify air. And then it goes through Juane into the throat, and now it has to go forward, has to have the open epiglottis in order for the air to come through here into the trachea. There are true and false vocal folds. Vocal folds are going to be tightening during swallowing. So if something's wrong with the epiglottis and anything comes through, it gets stuck on the vocal folds. You still have a chance to cough it out. If it passes through, you don't have a chance to you're hoping that your cilia are going to pick it up, or the dust cells, so-called macrophages in the lungs are going to clean it up. How do you like it?